welcome to the first episode. You can look at the camera, it's fine. We're going to call this the Twin Talk Podcast. We have two twins here. I'm also a twin. Do you want to introduce yourself before we start?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
My name's Ariana, and
I'm Juliana. I'm older.
Ooh, already we're starting. That's
by 1
cool.
minute. He's only older by 1 minute.
That's fine.
But
We can
still
get it. We
older.
can get into that. I'm Mr. Silviati. I do the media club, and I had two twins here that wanted to talk about twin myths today and what that means. So I guess I'll start with a question, and then you guys can take it over. But are there any questions you get from other people around that are always like, "Oh my God, you're a twin"? Are you always like wearing the same clothes?
I always get the question, are you guys identical or fraternal twins?
Yeah.
And people always think like twins are identical, but like that's not usually the case.
Well, some people do know, what fraternal twins are. So, they're like, "Oh, are you fraternal or identical?" But most people assume that we're identical.
Same here. I always get, and I have a twin sister, and her name is Amy, and she's 2 minutes older, because I know you said that before, and we can get into that. But I'm always like saying to people, I have a twin sister, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you identical?" And they don't understand that you
Yeah.
can't be identical. Like, identical means every single thing is exactly
Yeah.
the same.
I mean, when I look at other twins, I'm like, "Oh, I can't figure this out."
Right. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
like, how many times do people are like, "Oh my God, do you look alike?"
Yeah.
And then they see a
Yeah.
picture of you, and what do they say?
Yeah. And they're like, "Oh my God, you guys look the exact same," or they'll say something completely different, like, "You guys look nothing alike.
Yeah,
I
like
would
this-
never guess your
this-
sisters."
I had this music teacher last year, and she could never figure out the difference between me and Ariana. It was really tiring.
Yeah.
She was like, "Ariana."
Seriously? So they didn't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
the difference
For
between you
all
two.
6 years since kindergarten.
That's
She
amazing.
still couldn't
Yeah.
get us.
I would. So I can definitely tell you two apart. I
Yeah,
don't
it
think
was
you look
easy.
identical at all. So that's interesting. All right. The other question that I get: do you guys can you communicate without talking?
Oh,
Oh.
like in our heads?
Yep.
Well, one time we had this dream.
Oh.
I always talk about it. It only happened once. Like we kind of like shared the same dream.
Yeah.
So-
it was like the same like it was like it's hard to explain.
It was a really weird dream, honestly.
like,
Ariana was driving a
Yeah,
car.
I was driving a car and I was like 5
Mm-hmm.
and we were like
Yeah.
at a restaurant in my dream, but then we were at her house in her dream. It was weird.
Yeah, it was confusing. I was like, "Whoa, I had this insane dream last night."
And then we just like had the same dream
And
and
we
we
were-
still remember it.
Whoa.
So you kind of can answer that question as like, yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
But sometimes it like depends on like what's like going on. Like, if somebody's being like kind of like rude or like annoying, and we're like both together, we'll just like look at each
yeah.
other and we'll just like start dying laughing.
So yeah, you're not like communicating through your thoughts, but you give each other looks and you know what those things
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I understand. I never in my life had ever a similar experience to my sister, like you just explained with your dream. So I can never say that we can do that. But yes, there are looks that you give, or there are things that you pick up on that other people won't because you're
Yeah.
just always
Yeah.
together. So that I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you guys have a myth that you want to debunk or prove?
Oh.
Anything comes to mind?
Okay. So about like always like having the same interests, like if like
Yeah.
somebody like she'll like tell somebody she's like really good at drawing, which she is,
Mhm.
and they'll be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, what do you?" And then they'll like go to me and they're like, "Oh, what are you drawing?" I'm like, "I don't draw," and they just like some people like would automatically think like, "Oh, they're twins. They'll do the same exact thing or wear the same exact stuff, and just like be the same
Yeah.
person."
Yeah.
When we were growing up, Ariana would never, and still doesn't like to match with me. So
So she purposefully chooses not to look like you in terms of the
Yeah.
clothing. Yeah,
Yeah, because like we're different people. We shouldn't have to look the same.
Well,
get it.
yeah, but
absolutely.
like I think it looks cute.
Another thing I want to talk about is people always like if people don't know our names, our
Mhm.
name to them is like the Dinko girls or the Dinko twins.
Yeah.
And it's just like not
Or
it's
the
not it.
girls.
You don't want to be referred to as
Yeah.
a group.
Names back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cuz
You want your first names.
yeah, some people don't know my name. They'll be like, "Oh, you're a Dinko girl, right?" I'm like, "What's my name?"
Mm.
They can't name. They can't. They
So
don't
they've
know
heard
my name.
that there's two of you. They know that you're twins, and then they'll
Mhm.
refer to you that way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never had that happen to me. I guess it's a boy-girl thing. Like if it's a boy-girl thing, then
Yeah.
they don't do that.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, if it's two girls or two boys, I get how that can happen.
And especially if my mom, since she works downstairs, the people that like always come in, they'll be like, "Oh, where are the girls at?" And she'll be like, "Oh, they're not here today."
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Oh, where's the basketball one?" Because I used to play basketball, and
Ah.
they'll be like, and it's just like weird because I just have like certain weird names because my mom obviously is gonna talk about me at work.
Right.
So my name is
Yeah.
either like basketball girl or like not drawing girl or
Mm.
Not
the-
drawing girl. I've never
or like
heard of
the
that.
acting one.
Are
'cause
you
I
the
act.
drawing one? Or are you not the drawing one?
She-
Like
I'm
that?
the
No.
drawing
Yeah, I'm not
one.
asking, but like that's how they may refer to you,
Yeah.
right? Like they might be like, "Oh, are you the drawer? No? Oh, you're the
No.
basketball."
Yeah,
one."
that happened
Yeah, I
to
get
me
that.
the other day. I was sitting at my mom's desk, and this lady came in, and she was like, "Oh, are you the one that plays the violin?" I'm like, "No," and she's like, "Oh, so you're the basketball one?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Okay, got it. Interesting.
yeah." It's really it gets annoying.
Yeah, I get it. You
Yeah.
kind of want like because if you were an only child or if you were like one of a few and you were older or younger
Yeah.
and the other one left or whatever, yeah, I get how you don't get associated as much as if you have like a younger or older sibling. Like if you're the older sibling, you're your person, and then if you're the younger one, then you follow that person and
Yeah.
you become like that
Yeah.
person's brother
Well,
or sister.
Oh, so most people think that I'm younger than Ariana for some
Yeah,
weird
let's talk
reason.
about that. Go ahead.
I don't really know why. They're like I sometimes ask people, who looks older or who do you think is older than the other, and they're like her, and I'm like, what? She doesn't look older than me.
because I'm taller than you.
You're not. Now I'm taller.
No,
Yeah.
no, we're like the same height. I'm like half an inch taller.
No.
So
Oh.
you can chill.
So I get it. So everybody, that's probably one. If I did like pick, maybe we'll end with this. I have like the top 3 questions that people ask, like when they first meet you as twins. I think the first one is always who's older,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's always that one. You never
Always.
not get that question if somebody
Mhm.
finds out you're a twin. And I know from my experience, my sister will always say she's 2 minutes older. Like always. I never get like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like even if we ask my mom, she doesn't remember because it was so long ago and all that. Like she's like, so I think that was always like an answer that she gave. It might be on our birth certificate, like what time we were born, but I feel like she doesn't even remember. But my sister Amy will always say, like, no, I'm older 2 minutes, thanks.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Yeah.
And you're never ever gonna
Let
get away
go.
from that ever because you can't. It's impossible. So you're just gonna.
always
You're the
be
youngest. You're
older.
just gonna be the youngest.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing.
It's fine. It's fine. It's cool.
Because whenever we argue, her excuse is always, "I'm a minute older than
I'm
you."
a minute older.
And it's only a minute. That's
Yeah.
like you're
But
like
it's still older.
still
though.
counts. It still counts.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, it's still counts.
Unfortunately, but always. So you're just gonna live. You're just always gonna be the younger child.
Yeah.
All right. So then let's end with this. So I think that's number 1, right? Like of the questions that
Yeah.
you get when you first meet somebody and they find out you're a twin. Who's older? What's the next most popular one you guys get?
We always get, "Are you fraternal?" Right.
Right. That's another one we
Yeah.
talked about that. And then there a third that we didn't cover yet, or that we kind of touched on.
Maybe like some like it's usually like my friends who usually like if I meet somebody and I tell them, "Oh, I have a twin sister," they're like, "Oh, do you read their mind?" I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think those are like the 3. We kind of talked about all those things, and those are
Yeah.
definitely like the 3 most common. These are the twin myths that we're proving or just debunking today.
"Yeah."
Mhm.
Okay. So I think that was good. We probably talked for about 10 minutes. How did that feel?
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything as we end this out? Do you want to like maybe, you know,
Add anything?
add anything before we say bye?
G, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, I have one thing. Don't like call me Juliana on purpose because that makes me really mad.
Yeah, that's a thing. That could be a thing. And I don't get that because boy, girl, but girl, girl, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was it. That was our first episode. We'll do
Yeah.
this again maybe next week, and we'll like try to put it out every so often.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have guests. Maybe you'll bring another set of twins on. We have 4 mics.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that.
Yeah, we know.
You know twins?
Yeah.
Twins always
Yeah.
know twins. All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, say bye.
Bye.
Bye.